Hello, it is iNostalgia Egg here again. Now I originally wasn't ever planning to make any more SMG4 criticism videos on this channel, but I ended up changing my mind after realizing just how overlooked this particular issue with the channel is. I've noticed that so many self-proclaimed former fans and critics of SMG4 most commonly cite either Kevin or the female characters as the reasons for SMG4's downfall, a lot of the times both. But I've always felt like those points were a lot weaker in comparison to what is easily the biggest contributing factor of the video's weaker quality nowadays, and that is the editing itself. But let me be clear when I say that I mean no disrespect to the current editors, and I completely understand the situation they're in when it comes to editing these episodes weekly. However though, a decline in quality is a decline in quality. For those of you that have watched the 2011 through 2019 videos, or even just the 2013 through 2019 videos, the way in which they were edited was a lot different than what we see now. Featuring a good mix of SM64 and GMOD backgrounds and character models, along with a ton of visual imagery to convey either random objects or certain characters like the Old Man and Rock Wizard. The later episodes from 2016 and onwards also had good audio balancing and quick-paced visual and audio humor, but not too quick to the point where it becomes annoying. The later episodes also featured a good deal of character animation for characters like Meggy and Tari, who often stood out as being rather unique compared to the GMOD ragdolls and Mario 64 models. This is all to say that the editing work in the earlier SMG4 episodes was extremely distinct and impressive for what was at one point considered a basic Mario 64 YouTuber. A style so unique that it went on to inspire hundreds of newer and older Super Mario 64 YouTubers that would try their best to replicate SMG4's level of creativity and consistency. All of this creative editing work was done by Luke himself, who is the creator of the SMG4 channel. He was the series' main editor from 2011 all the way up until the conclusion of the anime arc in 2019, officially departing from his position starting with the release of the Day in the Life of Everyone video. His only contributions to the series editing afterwards has been Watfy 2019, Little Penguin Lost, the 5 million sub special, Revelations, and Meggy's Destiny, which was his last major involvement prior to Revelations this year. After stepping down from the position, Luke decided to put his assistant editors James Bailey and Paul into the main position, starting with the before-mentioned A Day in the Life of Everyone, and they have remained as the main editors of the series since. Now, before I start criticizing their editing work, I would just like to quickly say that they have gotten a lot better since their debut in mid-2019, but having that said, they are still nowhere close to Luke's level of consistent quality. I think my biggest issue with James' editing in particular is just how over-the-top and GMOD-centric it is. Every scene he edits is supposed to appear visually expressive with its constant use of character emotions, but it lacks the general movement to make the impact of the scenes work, as a good majority of the poses are static. It also doesn't help that it's usually accompanied by a boatload of repetitive movement sound effects that take away from the impact a scene could potentially have otherwise. The overuse of walking sounds especially comes across more as a lazy excuse to not include genuine character animation to make the scenes and characters pop out the way they are supposed to. Even if you wanted to argue that Luke's GMOD work wasn't all that different, the simplicity of the GMOD ragdoll movements was still accompanied by a lot of other aspects that made it easy to ignore, as the focus was mostly on Super Mario 64, the dialogue, and telling tons of jokes. It'd be one thing if the Super Mario 64 character models were able to mask the flaws in the GMOD animation, but they also aren't used for anything other than basic walking and running animations, which is a massive step down from all of the creative ways Luke used them in the earlier episodes. And what's more is that the balance between GMOD and Mario 64 I spoke of earlier is now gone as well. The most you'll see Mario 64 used for nowadays is just for the character models, and they also look visually downgraded in comparison to the older episodes. The visual imagery also seems to be mostly gone as well, since most of the objects used are from GMOD exclusively, and all of the external visuals are just used for present-day memes and nothing more. Not even the Old Man and Rock Wizard are images anymore. All of these flaws and more is the biggest reason why I do not think post-anime arc SMG4 is anywhere remotely as good as the episodes from before. All of the flaws regarding the inconsistent character writing and whatnot could easily be looked over if the video's comedy still landed in the way it is intended to. But until the day comes when Super Mario 64 gets more prominence, and the GMOD improves itself, and the overuse of sound effects goes away, modern SMG4 will always remain inferior to what came before in 2011 through 2019, because Luke's creativity will never be topped, and nobody has been able to live up to his quality standards. That is all I have for you today. Let me know in the comments what you think of the current editing in SMG4's videos. With that said, I will see you guys later.